We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spread Zone. My name is Riz, as always, joined by my two esteemed colleagues.
Ooh, esteemed.
Esteemed. Wow. Anthony Stalter and Tim McKernan. Gentlemen, let me intro this the right way.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's the Spread Zone presented by our friends at FanDuel. It is the fourth and final major of the golf season. We're heading across the pond for the 153rd Open Championship. This week, the world's best descend on Royal Portrush Golf Club in Northern Ireland. This is it's a historic course, isn't it? Historic, a par 71 playing over 7,200 yards. We just saw it host the Open in 2019 when Irishman Shane Lowry won the claret jug in a fairy tale victory, I'd call it, Tim. Wouldn't you?
Going home and winning in his home country, you better believe it.
So 2019, the defending champ golfer of the year is Xander Schauffele, who won last year at Royal Troon. And as with any Open Championship, the weather is going to be a factor. So what are we looking at over in Ireland for the next couple of days, Tim?
I mean, the weather is what it's all about when you're wagering on the Open, both from who you think will win, top 10, making cuts. If you're building out daily fantasy rosters, you can select a variety of players who are going off at certain tee times and use that to your advantage, because other tee times, Riz, they can get buried by the wind or the rain. But the wind will have a bigger impact. The issue right now is they've had great weather. They've had almost American summer caliber weather going into this week, but now the weather is supposed to pick up just in time for the Open, and nothing is specified as a clear, at the moment in the forecast.
At the moment, but it's very unpredictable.
But it can change so quickly. As we sit here, there's talk of possible thunderstorms, which could delay play. So if you're trying to handicap, Anthony, the tee times, if tee times get pushed back because of a delay, you then lose out that way. So there is a real strategy to the Open being one of the most predictable, because you can handicap with weather. But on this particular one, as we sit here, less than 12 hours away from the balls in the air in Northern Ireland, it is not clear how that weather will impact the Open in 2025.
So you do take this into account before making your picks.
Huge. But the issue from a wagering standpoint is, at the moment, it is not clear. And if you do get thunderstorms and it does delay tee times, you can't take advantage of that information.
All right, so let's dive into the odds, all courtesy of our great sponsors at FanDuel. So let's start at the top of the board, and it's a familiar name. World number one, Scotty Scheffler, is the runaway favorite at plus 450 on FanDuel, of course. The man has been a machine, reeling off 10 top straight top 10 finishes, including winning the PGA Championship. But here's the thing. The Open is the one major where he has yet to record a top 5 finish. So, Anthony, I'll start with you. Is there any world in which you could bet Scotty Scheffler at plus 450 to win a major, or is that price just too short?
Too short. I'm passing. For exactly what you just said, he has struggled in the Open. He's the best player on earth. The last time we were all together, we talked about how almost it feels that we're underselling Scotty Scheffler's performances. But despite being the best player on earth right now, you mentioned it, no top 5 finishes in the Open. The odds are not great. I'm passing. I'm completely passing. He will not be a part of my field.
He is a full-on fade.
He's a full-on fade for me.
Now, for the man with all the pressure, all the narrative, Rory McIlroy, is second on the board at plus 700. So I think he grew up, the stat is he grew up 60 miles from this particular golf course. He holds the course record, 61 he shot when he was 16. He's coming off winning the Masters to complete the career Grand Slam. He finished tied for second at the Scottish Open. But, and this is a big but, he missed the cut here in 2019 when the pressure was on. So, Tim, what do you make of this? Are you buying the homecoming hero narrative? and the great form, or do you think the pressure of playing at home gets to him again?
It's a wonderful question because we saw the impact of returning in 2019 on him. He came back as the favorite. People thought this would be his time to have a crowning moment outside of winning at Augusta as he did earlier this year. And what does he do on the very first hole? He gets an 8 and misses the cut by 1 stroke. To his credit, in the second round, he played outstanding, but he still missed the cut in the second round. I think when you're analyzing Rory McIlroy, perhaps more than anybody else of the big names out in the PGA Tour and LIV, I look at Rory McIlroy from handicapping his psychology. If he is in it, he is so dangerous, right up there with Scheffler. If he's withdrawn, you see what kind of results you got. Surprisingly to me, I said after he won the Masters, I thought he was going to go on a run because that burden was off his shoulders. But instead, he came out and said it was tough to get motivated to go to the range and practice once he had won the green jacket and that career accomplishment of becoming the 6th player to win the career Grand Slam. But then we saw him get recommitted here recently and have the performance he had. He could have / should have won this past weekend at the Scottish Open. He played well at the Travelers a few weeks ago as well. Rory McIlroy has been so good at the Open throughout his career. The Open, over the last 10 times he has played it, he won it in 2014, didn't play in 15, then T5 in 16, T4 in 17, T2 in 18, missed the cut, as we made reference, at Royal Portrush, his home course here in 2019. They didn't play it in 2020, T46 in 21, T3 in 22, T6 in 23, and he missed the cut last year. This style of golf is what he grew up on. He has played this course many a time. Rory McIlroy is somebody I am very focused on this week. Very focused on.
So Scheffler's the favorite. Then you got McIlroy. Then you got at plus 1,200, Jon Rahm. So there's your top 3.
Anthony, you made a sound that to me, Riz told me he's not high on Jon Rahm. That's my read. Now, I might have made a bad read.
No, you made the correct read, and now I need to fold. Now I need to show you my cards. I don't like any of the top 3 this weekend. Rory
fade across the board.
Yes, sir. You mentioned it. I think this is the most difficult event to handicap. Certainly in golf, if not of all the main betting events throughout the course of the year,
because the
weather's so unpredictable. I'm seeing some forecasts for a lot of wind. I don't like it. I think you eliminate. I think you just start by the odds and you start eliminating by the odds. Rory, you mentioned before. I think you and I, Riz, when we cashed out on the Masters, Rory, done.
You both were on Rory.
Done. Out. I don't understand how. I mean, I guess from a human element standpoint, like, yeah, it's tough to get back in there and get back up. I don't like that at all. I think that is you need to have that Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant assassin to you, and I just don't see that out of Rory. I think he's tapped.
You think?
So I'm passing.
Passing on Rory.
And I don't think Jon Rahm's got good odds either at plus 1,200. I'm looking at some of the longer shots.
So Rahm has had 3 top 7 finishes in his last 4 Opens and finished tied for 11th at this course in 2019. He seems to be playing very steady golf right now.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, though. So let's go to Schauffele, right?
Okay.
Who's got plus, 2,500? He's plus 2,500. You get Rahm at plus 1,200 or Schauffele at plus 2,500, and he's been a top 10 machine in majors and obviously won the event last year. Now, I don't know how you feel about supporting somebody that is, you don't like to do the back-to-back thing, right? But I think there's more betting value in Schauffele than I do with Rahm.
If you're insisting on betting one of the top 3, who's the smartest bet? If you're I see the top of the board right now. Who's the smartest bet?
I'll go to Tim, since I just said I would cross off all 3 of them.
Yeah, I go with McIlroy. I really like Rory McIlroy. I mean, it would complete what has been an incredible year. I mean, just winning the Masters makes it an incredible year. As a golf fan, he started off the year by winning in Pebble Beach, and then he also won the Players. I mean, if you just win the players, and at Pebble Beach, it's a great year, much less the Masters as well. I think this is the fitting end to what has been an incredible year for Rory McIlroy to go home and win it at his home country of Northern Ireland. And I would have totally been going the other way had I not seen what he did here over the last couple of weeks. And I think he had a mental reset. To his credit, he acknowledged it. He was right there to win the Scottish Open. He was in the final group. Chris Gotterup, who's kind of an unknown for most people, but he played really well, and McIlroy tipped his cap. But he likes where his game is. He's so familiar with this style of golf, which I think is important as well. Speaking of Scheffler and him not having great success relative to other courses in the United States, I'm easily, of the three, taking Rory McIlroy.
Okay.
And I would take, if you're forcing me to, Riz, give me the best golfer in the world. Then give me Scheffler.
Scheffler?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll look at the next tier of contenders and some interesting prop bets to consider. Spread Zone brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Don't just watch the game, guys. Be part of it. Download the FanDuel app. All right, welcome back to the Spread Zone. All right, let's look at the guys chasing the favorites for the Open Championship. So Bryson DeChambeau, sitting at plus 2,000. He's been fantastic in majors over the last year, but his record at the Open is not great, and he missed the cut last time at Portrush in 2019. Then you have the defending champ, and you mentioned him before during the first segment, Xander Schauffele at plus 2,500, and Tommy Fleetwood at plus 2,600, who was the runner-up here to Lowry back in 2019. So, Anthony, it's a fascinating group. The bomber, the steady defender, and the links specialist, if you would. Mm-hmm. Who do you like most out of those guys?
So I mentioned it in our first segment. I like Schauffele. Iron play, I think, is underrated. When you look at the prices of Scheffler and Rahm and Rory, and then you compare it to Schauffele at plus 2,500, I think you get an elite player at a pretty solid value. Again, running it back, that's a difficult call. So maybe you start to look at some of the prop plays with Schauffele to finish in the top 10 or top 5. But out of that group, I like Schauffele.
Now, Tim, I saw on a computer model somebody calling for a surprise run from Hatton, Tyrrell Hatton, who is at plus 3,300 to win on FanDuel. Your thoughts?
Tyrrell Hatton is a very good player. He was in the mix at the U.S. Open last month, Riz. And I could see him being somebody who would be dangerous in this. There is no more emotionally volatile golfer than Tyrrell Hatton. When he is high, but when he is low, and he will show it to you with a wide variety of club tossing / profanity.
So smart bet maybe is a top 10?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that with Tyrrell Hatton. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see he's at, as you mentioned, plus 3,300, but then you can get him top 10 as well, and he'd be dangerous out there.
So who are you looking at maybe for some of these prop bets? Top 10, top 20, who would you throw in?
If you were talking about some of the players who wouldn't necessarily be at that top where we were talking about with Scheffler and McIlroy and Rahm, I go back to the 2019 champion, Shane Lowry. Mm-hmm. Shane Lowry is playing better now than he was in 2019. I think accuracy off the tee will be the second most important statistic this week next to strokes gained approach. That is clearly the most important statistic, and that's where Lowry led the field in 2019. But Lowry hits the ball straight. You do not want to wind up in either one of the bunkers at this golf course. These bunkers are ridiculous. They're basically a one-stroke penalty because you got to hit out sideways, or there's out of bounds that is actually on the course. The out of bounds is not the boundary of the golf course, something that is completely foreign to those who play in the United States. You can hit the ball and still be in the realm of the golf hole, but it will be out of bounds per the rules. It's insanity. You actually have that on the number one hole. So therefore, accuracy off the tee is at a premium. So if I'm looking from that standpoint, and I'm looking at two players who wouldn't be necessarily at the top, but there's certainly guys who could win this thing. The guy who won it in 19 in Lowry, and Tommy Fleet, who played really well at the Travelers, but folded up shop right at the end. And Keegan Bradley, the American captain for the Ryder Cup, came back and got him in his home area in New England. Tommy Fleetwood would be the one that I would go with along with Lowry.
Yeah, I think maybe to make some money, sprinkling these top 10, top 20s, not to outright win. So Tommy Fleetwood is what, plus 2,600 to win, but put him in a top 10 prop bet.
I think diversifying your portfolio is something that we have often discussed on the spread zone. We have talked about, take your shot at the winner. But with so many props available at FanDuel, you can really diversify things. You don't want to go too far, because for like the Super Bowl, I feel like a lot of people have 50 plays. You're just going to kill yourself in juice.
Yeah.
But with this, where you kind of sprinkle, or you choose your one winner, then you sprinkle in some top 5s, some top 10s, maybe a couple of guys that missed the cut, and if you wind up plus at the end of the weekend, you're in good shape. Maybe you even don't have the winner.
So there's one that's interesting to me. It's a big guns versus the field. So a plus 118, Scheffler, McIlroy, Rahm, DeChambeau to win.
DeChambeau to me is dead money. DeChambeau,
any one of those guys to win at
I would
plus
be
118.
Super surprised if DeChambeau wins because of accuracy off the tee reasons. If anything, I would look at him as a miscut potential. But on the other three, they're all absolutely live, and you now have those three, and you're getting plus money on it. That's an intriguing play. I wish they would give you a different option other than Bryson DeChambeau. As crazy as it is, I would rather have Fleetwood or Lowry.
Go onto the FanDuel site. There's a couple different options for you.
Got a lot of options.
There's a lot of options over there. So you have no faith in Bryson at all this weekend.
I'd be shocked, because I think the premium, outside of being an incredible ball striker and strokes gained approach, which he certainly is accuracy, and I think that's what's going to be his downfall over the next 4 days in Northern Ireland.
So I haven't looked. I wonder if there's for Bryson to not make the cut. Are you going that style, to not make the cut?
That's something I would be intrigued by on Bryson, because you would certainly be surprised to see him missing the cut. Scotty Scheffler, for example, is minus 1,300 to make the cut. So obviously there's a lot of confidence. McIlroy, who missed the cut there 6 years ago, is minus 950. And speaking of Bryson, it's minus 340 to make the cut.
To make the cut. I'm looking for Bryson to
not make the cut.
Yes.
Miss
the cut.
I'm not seeing him available at FanDuel.
It's plus 230.
Yeah, there it is.
Plus 230.
I didn't scroll far enough.
Yeah, I'd fire a bullet on that, Riz.
All right.
There you go. See?
Any other surprises maybe you guys would put in?
Yes. Yeah. I think that the condition of the golf course, if they don't get rain, could lend itself to a surprise potential older player making a run, because they haven't gotten rain over there in the last few months, which means you got a really firm golf course. And that then mitigates the distance advantage that the younger players have. And if that can happen, one of the most famous moments in golf in the 21st century is Tom Watson approaching the age of 60, being in the mix to win the Open on the final hole, the 72nd hole in 2009. And that was in part because of the conditions. Also, he was a master at the British Open. I wonder about a guy like Adam Scott, who has already been playing well as it is. He has one of the most beautiful swings as it is. If he could find himself in the mix, if you can get this golf course in a spot where it doesn't get super soft, and he can take advantage of that. So if I were looking for a surprise play, and it's not like he's a random, but Adam Scott would be a name I would keep my eye on for those reasons.
I think you get a good price on him just to make the cut, too. I think I'm seeing him under 150, minus 150.
How about that?
Which would be, I mean, you're talking about a savvy veteran with a pretty high floor. I think just to make the cut, we want to look for plus odds, and especially in tournaments like this, but anything under minus 150 I would consider. So that's not a bad play. I'll give you one. How about Joaquin Niemann to win the opening round, or to lead the
first round leader, FRL? You got Niemann. What are you getting on that, Anthony?
You can get one. I just had it here, then I jump back to the other page. Still holding. 5,500. 5,500 plus 5,500 for him to be the opening round leader. Often starts fast. He's aggressive. I played this one. I played somebody in the last the last majors that we talked about. It wasn't even close. This is my rebound.
Oh, wow. This is a bounce back.
Niemann. Yep.
Joaquin Niemann, FRL is your play.
Yes.
Wow. All right. I like that.
First round leader.
Nice. There will be a guy in the top 5 who you have never heard of. I can promise you that. That is the way that it works at the Open. I have no idea why it works that way, more so than other majors. And then inevitably by Sunday, usually the top names emerge. But there will be somebody in the top 5. You go, who in the world is this? And he went out there and shot one of the rounds of his life.
I do like Shane Lowry, top 5.
Yeah.
You were talking about him earlier. I think he's a sneaky play.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna. So we'll take one final break. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna throw out some names to you guys and just see your thoughts. Okay. Maybe long shots, some dark horses. I'm gonna dig deep for some long shots. I'll throw some names out for you. Who are the dark horses that can make you money this weekend? And we'll tell you next. It's the Spread Zone, brought to you by FanDuel. All right, fellas, it's time to find some real value. So these are the long shots on FanDuel that could be worth a look for the Open Championship. So first up, your thoughts. Sepp Straka at plus 5,000. Number feels crazy to me. Runner-up at the Open last year. He's the number 10 player in the world. He's already had 2 wins this season. That price seems inflated. Tim, your thoughts?
Sepp Straka is one of the best ball strikers in the world, and I was watching coverage earlier this morning of the Open, and Bryson DeChambeau was saying to one of the people on the course, if you can ball strike, you are going to love this golf course. Straka can absolutely do that. The comp for this golf course on the PGA Tour is PGA National in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Straka has won at PGA National, just won here recently at PGA National. So that would lend itself to Straka being a nice play. The counter to Straka is he has not really performed well in majors. But eventually a great player can rise to the occasion, and to get 50-1 on my money for Straka, that certainly would intrigue me.
Yeah, I didn't have Straka in my mix here. I can throw out a name to you, Riz, or I won't impede you from throwing out the name.
Well, how about I throw a name to you?
Okay.
JJ Spawn.
Nope.
Plus 10,000.
The U.S. Open winner is at plus 10,000.
Wow.
4 top 3 finishes this season. For a guy with that kind of form, 80-1 is intriguing.
Okay. Can I raise you a
Sure.
Minwoo Lee?
Minwoo, that's your guy. That's Tim, that's your guy.
Yeah, for the Masters. And if memory serves, he got an early flight on Friday.
He did.
It's a bounce back. Tied for 5th at the Open in 2023. He's kind of that wild card, right? Like he's
a bomber, man. He can bomb it.
This is wildly talented. I think a Minwoo Lee, high ceiling, triple-digit price.
Nice.
I'm gonna raise you to a Minwoo Lee.
Minwoo. How about that?
All right.
My guy is back.
You didn't think.
No, and I love that you brought him back.
Tim, how about Nick Taylor at plus 12,000?
I don't see it for Nick.
Don't
Taylor.
see it.
That one would surprise me on Nick Taylor. He could be there in the early going, but I'd be surprised if he's there in the end.
What about a Ryan Fox?
Ryan Fox is somebody who has played really well. Did not play particularly well at the Scottish this past weekend. Made the cut, but then kind of fell off at the end. But man, he's been playing well. He's not a household name. That's a guy that I know a number of people who enjoy wagering on golf are high on this week.
Plus 10,000.
Yeah.
Massive hitter. Tied for 16, tied for 22 last 2 years.
One of the most unique swings you will see, Ryan Fox. That's a nice play.
Thank you.
All right, let's go around the horn one more time. Give me one long shot, anyone with the odds of plus 5,000 or longer on FanDuel. Anybody else?
You know what? Let's go with Ryan Fox. One of the best links players on the planet, massive hitter, strong open pedigree, great course fit, and plus 10,000. So that's a deep shot.
A guy who was in the mix at St. Andrews a couple of years ago who fell off, had to play in a U.S. Open qualifier just to play in the U.S. Open last month, and to his credit, made it, but has not been the guy that many thought he would be, is Cameron Young. but he's been playing well as of late. And to get plus 9,000 on Cameron Young, a guy who's played well over there in this style of golf, this link style of golf, something intrigues me. This is the guy who just won last week. I realize most people don't know of him, but he held his own and beat Rory McIlroy and beat Wyndham Clark in the final group, and that's Chris Gotterup. And I bring him up. Number one, he's a bomber. He can hit it right there with McIlroy. But number two, what stands out about that win and plus 9,000 for Gotterup coming off the win at the Scottish Open, the reason why he's not a better player is his putter. But this style of grass is a totally different style of grass than what he putts on in the United States, and he putt really well on it at the Scottish Open. And so from that standpoint, oftentimes I don't want to go back-to-back on a winner like you were talking about going back-to-back on Xander. Gotterup is somebody who really intrigues me because he's got great game, but he can't putt. But he was able to putt last week, and I wonder if he's comfortable putting on this style of grass, which is totally different than what you would see. So, for example, at Augusta National. And then the absolute Hail Mary long shot is a guy who Justin Thomas said is one of the best players he ever played with, and he got in a car accident. And to his credit now, he is back and has played well this year. He's at plus 17,000. That would be Bud Cauley, Anthony. Bud Cauley.
Wow.
Bud Cauley is my Minwoo Lee for the 2025 Open.
All right, so I think it's time for our FanDuel official best bets for the 153rd Open Championship. I'll go first. I think the pressure gets to Rory. I think Scheffler's price is too short, so I'm taking Jon Rahm at plus 1,200 to win. Anthony, what is your single best bet for the week?
My single best bet of the week would be, let's go Shane Lowry, top 5 at plus 650.
Shane Lowry, top 5, pays 6.5 to 1.
Yes, sir.
That is certainly intriguing right there. Boys, it's chalky, but if this is what I think, this is what I have to say. I really think it's Rory McIlroy's time. I really do. I think you're going to have one hell of a story this weekend. I think the pressure is off because of what happened at Augusta in April. I think his mind is right, and I think he has the year that will be talked about for decades, winning it not only at Augusta, but also the Players' Pebble and in his home nation. I like Rory McIlroy to win this and getting 7 to 1 on my money, Riz.
All right, there you have it. I think some strong picks for what should be an incredible weekend of golf. So make sure you head over to FanDuel for all the latest odds and props and live betting action throughout the tournament. And I think that's it for us here on the Spread Zone. Riz, Anthony, Tim, enjoy the Open, everybody.
Thank you.
Ready for this? May all your bets be in the zone.
Oh, how about that?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable what just happened.
Should we do that? Yes, of course. Well done.
All right, have a great weekend.
We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.